In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. CAIG Laboratories is a company that produces a range of cleaning, lubrication, enhancement, preservation, and accessory products for electronic, electrical, and mechanical applications. The company's flagship products, the DeoxIT range, are designed to improve conductivity, reduce intermittent connections, prevent corrosion, and protect metal surfaces. For any information, please contact Cotelec's engineers.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how we rely on electronics more and more these days. Well, today we're diving deep into, the unsung heroes of keeping those gadgets happy, those little connections. Joining me is an expert to, unravel the mysteries of CAIG Labs.
Mysteries. I like that. We're going behind the scenes using their website and product pages as our decoder rings. It's amazing how much you can learn just by, really digging into the detail.
Exactly. We're talking about going beyond just the surface. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to understand not just what CAIG Labs makes, but why it matters, especially if you, like me, aren't exactly electronics wizards.
Right, because it's more than just knowing which cable goes where. CAIG's all about that next level, making sure those connections not only work, but work their best. And, last longer than your last phone battery.
Speaking of lasting longer, I was surprised to learn CAIG isn't just for, audiophiles obsessed with their vintage record players, right?
Yeah, those audiophiles are onto something. Clean connections are key. But it goes way beyond that. Their mission statement, to offer superior products that outperform and outlast the competition, that applies to a surprising number of industries.
Yeah, from the stuff we use every day, audio, video, computers, to stuff that seems completely unrelated, like marine, aviation, even energy.
It really highlights how universal the need for clean, reliable connections is.
Sure.
I mean, imagine you're flying a drone to get these amazing aerial shots.
Oh yeah, those drones everyone's using now.
Exactly. Well, those connections being clean can be the difference between a perfect shot and, a drone-shaped hole in the ground.
Okay, now you've got my attention. And it's not just fancy drones, right? My gaming console better not crap out in the middle of a raid. Those connections are crucial.
Exactly. It's those little things we don't think about that often make the biggest difference. And that's where, CAIG's flagship product line, DeoxIT, comes in. They bill it as a unique contact cleaner, rejuvenator, and protector.
Okay, rejuvenator, that's a new one. What does that even mean? Are we talking bringing my old Walkman back to life?
Well, maybe not that far, but think about it. Every time you plug something in, you're relying on those metal contacts to make a clean connection, right?
Sure, makes sense.
But those surfaces, they're constantly under attack. Air, moisture, even just being touched, it all leads to oxidation.
Oxidation, like rust.
Kinda, yeah. But on a much smaller scale. Even a little bit creates resistance, and that disrupts the flow of electricity. And that's when those weird issues start cropping up.
Weird how? Give me an example.
Well, it can be subtle, right? Like static in your headphones, a flickering TV, maybe your car speakers sound a bit off.
Oh, so that's what's been going on with my headphones. I thought they were just on your last legs.
Could be. But in more serious cases, you might get, connection errors, data loss, even complete device failure.
Okay, so this isn't just about keeping things quiet. It's about, keeping my devices alive. So are you saying my old gadgets might not be goners? Little DeoxIT magic is all they need.
Exactly. CAIG even says DeoxIT can bring systems back to life.
Yeah.
And they've got some serious street cred, too. Companies like, Boeing and NASA use this stuff.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for them.
Okay, I'm convinced. So DeoxIT it is, but there's, a whole bunch of different DeoxIT products. Where do we even begin?
Let's break it down. First up, the heavy hitter, the DeoxIT D series. This is for when those connections have really seen some action. They call it a rapid action deoxidizing solution. So, it means business.
So, when those connections are stubborn, D series is the tough guy, right?
You got it. Especially in those tougher environments, humidity, pollution, stuff like that. D series is ready to rumble.
Gotcha. So if I've got a gadget that's been through the ringer, D series is the way to go. But what about, the pricier stuff, electronics with gold connectors, all that jazz? Same deal.
Great question, and that's where the DeoxIT Gold G series comes in. This one's specifically for those precious metal contacts.
For real. I always figured gold was, immune to this kind of thing.
It's true. Gold doesn't rust the way we think of it, but it can still develop, like an insulating layer over time. And that, just like oxidation, messes with the flow of electricity.
Huh. So even gold needs a little help.
Exactly. The G series is, specially designed for this. Penetrates those gold-plated surfaces, protects against tarnishing, keeps those high-end connections happy.
So for the audiophiles out there, DeoxIT Gold is the gold standard. And this is the final step, right? Not something you do before the D series.
You got it. Think of it as like the finishing touch.
Got it. Final touch for top-notch electronics. Now, what about brand new stuff, fresh out of the box? Should we be busting out the DeoxIT right away?
Another great question. And that brings us to the DeoxIT Shield S series.
Shield. Sounds serious. Is my new gadget in danger already?
Think of it this way. Even new connections, they can be vulnerable, especially in, less than ideal environments.
Okay, so like...
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. CAIG Laboratories is a company that produces a range of cleaning, lubrication, enhancement, preservation, and accessory products for electronic, electrical, and mechanical applications. The company's flagship products, the DeoxIT range, are designed to improve conductivity, reduce intermittent connections, prevent corrosion, and protect metal surfaces. For any information, please contact Cotelec's engineers.
What counts as less than ideal?
Could be something as simple as, tossing your gadget in your bag. But the real culprits are things like high pollution, salt air, industrial settings. All that stuff can build up on those connections.
Yikes. So the S series is like giving my electronics a little hazmat suit.
Pretty much. It's a lubricant and a protectant, keeps those invisible threats at bay.
So even if my gadget isn't caked in grime yet, the S series is like a preventative measure, giving it a fighting chance.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So far, we've got the heavy-duty D series, the fancy pants G series for gold, and the protective S series. But what about those little knobs and sliders we all love to fiddle with? Can we hit those with DeoxIT too?
You're talking about those controls that seem to attract dust like it's their job.
Exactly. What about those?
Those need a gentler touch. That's where the DeoxIT Fader F series comes in.
Wait, so no blasting them with the regular stuff?
Not a good idea. Regular cleaners can strip away the lubrication those controls need, and then they feel all stiff and scratchy.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that.
Right. The Fader F series, though, it cleans and lubricates, so your controls stay nice and smooth.
So for my audio gear, and honestly my gaming controllers, Fader F series it is. But we've been talking a lot about liquids, and I see CAIG also has these DeoxIT greases.
Ah, yes, the greases. Now we're getting into some really interesting territory.
You've piqued my curiosity. Hit me with it. What's the deal with the greases?
Well, they do a lot of the same things as the liquids, like clean, deoxidize, protect. But these are for, heavier duty applications, both mechanical and electrical.
Heavy duty, huh? So we're not just talking about the connections inside my TV remote anymore.
Nope. Think bearings, gears, hinges, anything that needs lubrication and protection from wear and tear.
Wow. So it's like WD-40 for electronics, but like way more high-tech.
I like the way you think. And what makes it even cooler is the variety they offer. No particles, copper, aluminum, graphite, quartz, even a mix of graphite and quartz.
Okay, now you're just showing off. Why so many options?
Because not all connections are created equal, right? It depends on what you're trying to do. For general lubrication and protection, go with the no-particle grease. But for serious oxidation or corrosion, you'll want those copper or aluminum ones.
And what's the difference between those two?
Copper is conductive, so it's great when you don't want the contacts actually touching. Aluminum, on the other hand, is specifically for, aluminum parts. Helps prevent more corrosion.
Got it. So that's copper and aluminum. What about the graphite and quartz ones?
Ah, good question. Graphite is known for being super slippery, like really good lubrication, plus it helps transfer heat. So it's great for areas with lots of friction or if things tend to overheat. Quartz, on the other hand, is non-conductive and tough as nails. So if you need something that can really stand up to wear and tear, quartz is your go-to.
So graphite's the smooth operator and quartz is the tank of the grease world.
Exactly. And if you need both, they even have a blend. But it gets even wilder. They've got these new L260D and SM22D greases that are, get this, infused with DeoxyDX100L.
Infused. Are we making cocktails now?
Not quite,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool. Basically, they took the grease and added DX100L, so now it not only lubricates, but actually cleans as it's being used.
Wait, hold on. So it's like self-cleaning?
You got it. That DX100L forms a protective layer, and as the grease moves around, it lifts away any oxidation or corrosion.
That is seriously cool. So the D-series greases are like the top shelf stuff.
Pretty much. And speaking of top shelf, let's talk about the L27 series, the marine-grade greases.
Marine grade. Okay, now we're talking. From self-cleaning to setting sail on the high seas, what makes these so special?
Well, think about it. The ocean is brutal on electronics. Salt water, sun, you name it. CAIG made these greases specifically to handle those conditions. Not only lubricate and protect, but also deal with any existing oxidation and corrosion.
So not just preventing damage, but actually, like, undoing it.
Exactly. And while they're called marine grade, they're great for anything that sees a lot of outdoor action. RVs, ATVs, you name it.
So if it's going to be battling the elements, L27 is the way to go. Okay, we've got specialized greases, self-cleaning options. It's a lot.
It can be. That's why CAIG has these like pre-assembled kits. Makes it way easier to find what you need.
Kits? That's brilliant. Tell me more about these kits.
They're basically curated selections of CAIG products, all bundled together for specific needs. Audio, video, laptop cleaning, even a vacuum tube kit. They've thought of everything.
So instead of me trying to decipher all this stuff, I can just grab a kit and be good to go.
Exactly. Like they've done the hard work for you.
That is incredibly handy. It's like having a toolbox specifically for electronics maintenance.
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. CAIG Laboratories is a company that produces a range of cleaning, lubrication, enhancement, preservation, and accessory products for electronic, electrical, and mechanical applications. The company's flagship products, the DeoxIT range, are designed to improve conductivity, reduce intermittent connections, prevent corrosion, and protect metal surfaces. For any information, please contact Cotelec's engineers.
Exactly. And just like any good toolbox, having the right CAIG kit can make all the difference.
Kits, seriously. Game changer. CAIG really seems to get that, like, not everyone's an electronics guru.
Totally. They're all about making this stuff accessible.
Yeah.
But let's back up for a sec. We've been talking about clean connections. But what does that actually mean for, the average person? Besides saving my poor headphones, of course.
Right. Give me a real-world example.
Okay, say you're super into music, right? You've got this killer audio setup, amazing speakers, powerful amp, the works. But then you start to notice things sound a little off, like the music's not as crisp, kind of muddy,
Oh, I can imagine. For an audiophile, that's got to be devastating. What's going on there?
9 times out of 10, it's oxidation in the connections, creating resistance, messing with the audio signal.
So it's not even that the equipment's bad, it's just those tiny connections acting up.
Exactly. And this goes for all kinds of electronics. Think about gaming, right? Ever get that dreaded lag in the middle of a match?
Don't even get me started on lag.
Right. While lag can be caused by a bunch of things, bad connections are a major culprit. Those oxidized connections can really mess with the data flow between your console and the controller.
So those tiny connections can make or break the whole gaming experience.
Totally. And it's not just about performance. It's about making your stuff last longer. Using CAIG products, cleaning those connections. It's like giving your electronics a spa day.
A spa day. I love that. And it's got to be cheaper than buying a whole new console or whatever every time something acts up.
Way cheaper. Preventative maintenance is key. Think of it like, taking your car in for a tune-up.
You don't wait till it breaks down to take it in.
Exactly. Same goes for your gadgets.
So when should you start using this stuff? Is it wait till there's a problem kind of thing, or?
Honestly, a little bit of both. If something's acting up, definitely try CAIG. But I'm all about being proactive. Like with your car,
yeah,
you change the oil before the engine blows up, right?
Definitely. That's just common sense.
Exactly. Think of CAIG like that. Regular maintenance could be as simple as like using DeoxIT on your battery terminals once a year.
Now that's a tip anyone can follow. Easy peasy.
Right. Little things make a big difference.
So we've covered a lot. Why clean connections matter, all the different CAIG products. They've really got something for everything, especially with those kits, bundling everything together.
Those kits are a game changer. CAIG knows people can get overwhelmed, so they made it super straightforward. Need to fix your headphones. Grab the headphone kit. Done.
Love it. It's like they're saying, we got you no matter what tech troubles you've got.
Exactly. Audiophiles, gamers, people who just want to keep their electronics running smoothly, there's a CAIG kit out there for everyone.
It's like your very own electronics first aid kit.
Totally. And just like a first aid kit, it's good to have one on hand just in case.
So we know clean connections are important, and CAIG has our backs with all these different products. But let's get down to brass tacks. When do we actually need to use this stuff? Give me some real-life situations.
Okay, how about this? Ever plugged in your headphones and only one side works?
The worst.
Usually it's just oxidation in the jack. A quick clean with the DeoxIT, problem solved.
See? Told you it was like magic.
Right. Another one, old game cartridges. You know, the ones you got to blow on.
Oh yeah, the nostalgia is real.
Well, blowing on them just pushes dust around. Cleaning the contacts with the DeoxIT is way more effective.
So I can finally retire my cartridge blowing days.
Yep. And speaking of old tech, CAIG's also got products for those folks who love their vintage electronics. DeoxIT Gold is amazing for those old school audio connectors.
So from brand new headphones to vintage amps, CAIG's got us covered.
Totally. No matter what kind of tech you're into, clean connections make all the difference.
Okay, I'm sold. But now I gotta ask, what about those times when, I don't know, maybe we messed up? Like, are there things people should avoid doing with these products?
Oh, absolutely. Choosing the wrong product can do more harm than good. Yeah, like you wouldn't use a cleaner meant for like a power drill on your delicate little headphone jack.
Right, gotta use the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
So what kind of mishaps should we be watching out for?
Biggest one is using a product that's just too strong for what you're working on. Like you don't want to use a heavy-duty contact cleaner that's meant for industrial equipment on, say, a vintage audio component.
Yeah, that makes sense. We don't want to go using sandpaper to polish my my grandma's silver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always check what kind of metal you're dealing with, how delicate those connections are. And hey, when in doubt, CAIG's website is super helpful. Or just reach out to their customer support. They really know their stuff.
Good to know there's backup if we need it. Okay, so choosing the right products, check. Anything else we got to keep in mind?
Absolutely. Even with the right product, you got to use it right. You know, it's not just slapping it on and hoping for the best.
So there's a technique to it.
Kinda, yeah.
Huh.
Like with the DeoxIT, you want to get it on both sides of the connection, work it in a bit, and let it dry completely before you plug everything back in.
Details.
Exactly. Those little details make all the difference.
Okay, so we've got the right product. We're applying it like pros. Anything else?
Last thing, and this is important storage. CAIG stuff is designed to last, but you got to treat it right.
Oh, right. Like keeping it out of the sun and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Dry place, away from any heat sources, and keep those lids tight. You don't want it drying out or getting contaminated.
Got it. Treat it with respect, and it'll return the favor.
100%. Do that, and your CAIG products will keep your electronics humming happily for years.
Music to my ears. Well, we've covered a ton today about CAIG Labs, the different products from DeoxIT to those cool greases and, of course, those super handy kits. More importantly, I think we all get it now, why clean connections are so important.
It's all about understanding what's going on inside those gadgets, even if we can't see it, and having the tools to, take care of them ourselves.
Totally. And hey, maybe even save a little money in the process. Big thanks to CAIG Labs for schooling us on all things connections. And to everyone listening, definitely check out their website. It's a treasure trove of information. Until next time, keep those connections clean.
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. CAIG Laboratories is a company that produces a range of cleaning, lubrication, enhancement, preservation, and accessory products for electronic, electrical, and mechanical applications. The company's flagship products, the DeoxIT range, are designed to improve conductivity, reduce intermittent connections, prevent corrosion, and protect metal surfaces. For any information, please contact Cotelec's engineers.